Hi angels, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to teach you guys how I take my notes. They're aesthetic, but they're simple. You don't really have to do much to get these notes. And I'm just going to go step by step. I have two options when making my notes. I either do a mind map, which is usually like the last step, or I do just like regular notes. So I'm going to get into that. And make sure you guys subscribe to be part of the Angels team and also hit that notification bell so you never miss another one of my videos. So let's get into how I take aesthetic notes. So my first thing is a mind map. If you don't know what a mind map is, I think the best way to describe it is like whatever you think of, you kind of put it on the sheet. You put it on the paper. So how I do it is like, usually I do it when it's the end of a chapter in like my APOS history book or like the end of a unit or something like that, and I'm trying to review for my next test, I will make a mind map. So you want to put your topic in the center, and then outside of it, you have like maybe 4 or 5 different things that are subtopics of it, so like the main points, and then from there you just keep growing and growing, and you just kind of spit out everything that you have in your brain about that subject or whatever it is. In this case, I like to have a highlighter, and then I put it on all lowercase, and then I put it in cursive just to make it pop a little bit, and I cut it out and I stick it on my paper. I have a notebook specifically for each like unit or each subject, so I don't like the paper to get really like wrinkly or like bleed, so that's why I put it on a separate sheet of paper, cut it out, and stick it on. But it's really important that like the topic, so let's say for some reason I'm thinking about like APUS history today. If you're thinking about APUS history and you're like they have different periods. There's 9 periods that they're supposed to teach you. So if I'm on period 7, I'm going to put period 7 in the center of my paper. And then outside of that, I'm just going to put like 4 or 5, it could be 6 even, topics that were the major things. And then you can put it however you want. So you can put like causes and effects. You can do just whatever you remember about each of those topics, each of those subtopics, and then put it on your paper. I recommend doing kind of like a rough draft first, and then just kind of spitballing everything you remember, and then from there you just want to kind of put it into your notebook. So that's personally what I do. I do a rough draft, and then my final copy is in my notebook. So now you're just gonna see me putting my topics. So I have 4 topics, and then from there I kind of just stretch out like things I learned from that. I think the one main thing to make things look super clean, super sleek, and super aesthetic is having a like one color scheme. So I use like one color, so like in this case yellow, and then I put it with black, and then that's my scheme for my notes and for mind maps. And I also like putting the date because I like remembering what I did with, I don't know, everything that I did that day. And I think it's cool to look back at. So then, like, for example, if you're taking an AP test, then you can look back to remember when you did this and look at what you learned. Now, when it comes to notes, there are many different ways you can do it. You could do like a T-chart. You can just separate them completely into different categories. I personally feel like T-charts are really good for when you're learning a new language. That's what I did. This is my Spanish notebook, and I just kind of do whatever comes to mind when it comes to my notes. Notes are so personal, but again, you will see every single page has 2 colors. It has my one scheme, like it could be pink, it could be blue, whatever, and then I have another, like a black pen. You could also have different shades of that color to make it also aesthetic, but overall, you want to have a big heading. So in this case, mine is La Escuela, which is Spanish for the school, which is just vocab from school. And I also have like rough copy notes that I took in class. Here's one thing that I feel like a lot of people don't like about aesthetic notes. Every time I look at people's like comments, they're like, well, I don't have time to make my notes look pretty in class. This is not, I feel like personally, this isn't intended for you to do it in class. It's intended for you to revise your notes and make a final copy notes. So then when you're studying, you have nice notes to look at and you remember them because you made and put an effort to make them nicer than your other notes per se. So you see, I have 2 notebooks right now. I have my old one, which I had things highlighted and things like that, but it was like rushed. Like I did it in class, and then now you see I'm taking my time, putting in the effort, and I didn't do a T-chart. I just did like the vocab word and then like an arrow and then what it is in English. When it comes to notes and from different languages, I personally think it's better if you put like the vocab word in the language you're learning, so in my case Spanish, and then an arrow to the English one. I don't know, I think it makes it easier for me. But again, here is me a better look at what I'm doing. So you make a title for this new note. It's called Los Verbos, and from there you put, I like to put something that makes it pop a little bit more, so I do cursive over it in black. You could do whatever you want to do. And then from there, I make chunks. Chunks are really important because if you just have like one long list of words, how are you going to remember what each of those are and where they're supposed to go? Like when you're learning a new language that happens to be Spanish for me, there are different endings, different ways to conjugate them, all this stuff. So I think, you can find different ways of chunking it up. You can make T-charts, like I said. You can do what I'm doing, which is I make a little highlight, and then I break the highlight, I put what the subject is for that chunk, and then I keep highlighting it. And then from there, I put all the stuff in that goes into that chunk, and then I do that repeatedly. And that's how I do my notes. See, super simple. You don't have to think about it too much. But again, do what works for you. Overall, I think I just like having a color scheme and then chunking my notes out. It just looks really nice. And again, don't feel the pressure. I know now with social media, there are so many like studygrams that have all these aesthetic notes. Don't feel the pressure to do those in class. Do what works for you. These are just the notes that I like taking, and it works for me. But that is it. This is a super short and sweet to the point video. I hope you guys learned what you wanted to learn. Again, don't feel pressured by my video or anyone else's to change your style of notes. If it works for you, do what works for you. Personally, I think that my notes are pretty simple. You don't have to do much. Just have a highlighter and a pen. You don't even need a highlighter. You can do 2 different colored pens, a black pen, a red pen, and you'll be fine. Again, just do what works for you. But thank you so much for watching till the end of this video. I love you guys all so much. Make sure to subscribe, like I said in the beginning of the video. And hit the notification bell so you never miss another one of my videos, and hopefully YouTube will notify you when I have videos. I have noticed that like 92% of my viewers are not subscribed, so you should subscribe. I would love to see you in another video. But anyways, I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in next Sunday's video because I promise you guys it will be an amazing one. Bye guys.